Happy Monday, traders, and welcome to a fresh week in markets. Now, look, at the end of last week, markets and risk was trading quite heavy. Especially US equities, S&P, Nasdaq, and Bitcoin, sort of leading this risk-off trading. That on Friday we did have a turnaround Friday. There was a couple of things that the market liked, and that what turned around risk sentiment. First thing is that Fed Williams spoke on Friday, and he basically said that he was leaning towards a rate cut in the December meeting because basically the employment market is starting to weaken. Now, Fed Williams is probably the second most senior person in the Fed after Powell. So when Fed Williams speaks, it's sort of like a message from the Fed. Well, that's the way the market's viewed it. So we've now got Fed Fund futures, which we're pricing in around only a 30% chance of a Fed hike before Fed Williams spoke. But after that, market now, Fed Fund futures are pricing in pretty much a 70% chance now that the Fed is going to cut rates again in December. So that is a huge turnaround. So market's pretty much thinking it's a slam dunk again that the Fed's going to cut, live meeting, and we know that markets love rate cuts, and they don't like it when they don't get them. That's one of the reasons why risk was selling off. So look, that's one of the big changes that has happened pretty much on Friday, and what we're going to continue trading to start this week. The other thing is that on Friday there was some news out of the White House that potentially they're going to allow Nvidia to sell chips to China. So the selling of Nvidia, even though it did close down negative, but it was well off its lows. So two things that have certainly helped risk. So Bitcoin, which was trading literally down as low as 80,000 at one stage on Friday, that has reversed and it's done well over the weekend, and it's traded as high as 88,000 just on the open on Monday. It's up about 10% off its low, so that's had it's a pretty good rally. Anyway, starting this week, there's not a hell of a lot market-wise. Today in Japan, it's a public holiday for Labor Day, so Asia's going to start on the quiet side. Economic data-wise, that sort of kicks off in the US on Tuesday, so we get two bits of data. We get ADP employment data. That is important, obviously, because the reason we're getting rate cuts from the Fed is because of the weaker labour market. So that report will be closely scrutinised, and obviously if that is a negative number, then that rate cut bets will continue to increase. And then also on Tuesday we also get retail sales for September. This is a delayed data point, and it was during when the US government shut down, but having said that, it's still expecting a positive number month on month, around about 0.4%. But it is a good health check on the consumer. The US is a consumer-led economy, so Tuesday's data, ADP and retail sales, certainly is the big data day for the US. Moving on to Wednesday, just here locally in Australasia, get a couple of important economic data prints. Here in Australia, we get monthly CPI data. CPI has jumped up to back above the reserves target band. Not good. We're not getting any more rate cuts anytime soon, or any price in the horizon. So I don't think that this inflation number is going to change that too much. Straight after, half an hour after, we get the RBNZ rate decision. It's the last RBNZ meeting for the year, and market is pricing in pretty much almost 100% chance that they will cut rates again. So taking the RBNZ cash rate down from 2.25% down to 2%. That New Zealand economy is struggling. They've got inflation under control, and unemployment is ratcheting up in a big way. So For Aussie Kiwi, there could be a decent trade there with CPI if that's punchy in Australia, and then straight after we've got a dovish RBNZ. Aussie Kiwi has been a phenomenal trade the last few months. It's gone one way, it's back up to multi-year highs at 115. But we have seen the sellers come in at this level. So potentially the combination of Aussie CPI and another rate cut in New Zealand might help this Aussie Kiwi trade again to take the next leg higher. Then on Thursday we're going into US Thanksgiving holidays. It's really the start of end of year holiday season. A lot of the US take that Thursday and Friday off, and generally we see pretty quiet markets. So towards the end of the week things are going to quieten down. Anyway, look, it looks as if risk is going to start off positive anyway to start the week, but potentially a quiet week. So good luck with your trades, and we'll check back in with you shortly.